Hello, Night with Phee has started again with the mic on. Thank you for being here tonight with us. I'd certainly appreciate this. On the Phee Smee network, I had my mic off and was talking into the void, which is just another day in the life of Phee. We've had a great week this week. If you haven't seen the Midday Madness show with Manly Mark, very enlightening, very enjoyable, and we had a phenomenal show this morning. The Phee Smee show with Manly Mark already quadrupled the views that we normally have during the same time period. So I know it's a Friday night. A lot of you guys are out and about enjoying life, but you can always see Phee. Hit that replay, and I'll be right there on all my platforms all throughout the old land of the internet. Had a great show last night with Recipes for Life, and tonight we're going to be talking about warning signs. That's right, warning signs. They're everywhere. Symbols everywhere, warning signs everywhere. I can tell you that you can see stop signs, you can see yield signs, you can see steep hill ahead, danger ahead, falling rocks, just animal crossings, school crossings. And in relationships, you see all types of signs that in relationships men give to women and women give to men. If you know the signs, if you can pay attention, it really helps you in relationships. And in sports, well, we all know about the Houston Astros winning the World Series a couple of years back, and them getting accused of stealing signs. They've been stealing signs in the major leagues for a long, long time. I know that Jim Harbaugh was the coach at Michigan in football. They won a national championship, and now that school has been had some penalties from the NCAA for stealing signs. So signs are everywhere. You know, Mark talks a lot about symbols and signs. They're all on your dollar bill. If you see what is an Egyptian pyramid doing in a seeing eye on our dollar bill? Why is there 13 levels to that pyramid and 13 stripes and 13 arrows? And again, like I've told you before, that Latin phrase, it means New World Order. So it's right in front of you every single day, but there's also a lot of other signs out there, including warning signs, especially in the end of times. So we're going to get into that tonight on the Night with Phee. I'm glad you're here, and I do appreciate you tuning in. Hit that subscribe button, the like button, share it, and especially when it gets into that 30, 45-minute algorithm, it would really help us to get in the right algorithms. Sometimes we have 60 and 70 views within 30 minutes, and sometimes we have 3 views after 3 days. I don't understand it. We've just got to start boosting certain shows, boosting certain content, getting them out on all the platforms to where we can actually drive the traffic to feesme.com. Won't be long, by September 10th, that feesme.com website will look tremendously different, and I'm looking forward to that. Mark's working every single day in all different areas to make those things happen for me. Could not do it without him. He is amazing to me, and I certainly appreciate it, and God's blessed me with him. Tonight, we're going to get into these questions, but remember about warning signs. They're everywhere. So let's pay attention. I know we're busy. I know we've got to get out and make a living. We've got to spend time with our children and our wives, our husbands, our family. But the school year's back in, football season's starting. I got a lot of busy things out there for you guys to not really pay attention to the signs. Again, I'm getting more questions. I thank you guys for going and filling out the forms. We've made it easier. If you haven't been to feesme.com and ask a question, please do so, and I'll be glad to answer it once we get an opportunity to. But we'll jump into those questions tonight. Again, Night with Phee is exactly where I want to be. All right, here we go. Phee, the war in Ukraine is horrific. Russia has taken over 20,000 children from Ukraine. How will this war end, and what will be the landscape of Europe look like when it's over? Selma from New Jersey. Selma, you have seen a lot of movement in that Russian-Ukraine war. You had a European Union coalition come to the White House after Putin came to Alaska to meet President Trump. I can tell you that before the meetings happened, I was not expecting anything to come out of them very quickly. These things tend to move real slow, and the perception is really never the reality. It's kind of like a staged event most of the time, much like a production, much like a movie or video. So I wasn't expecting a lot to come out of that meeting in Alaska other than to see what might happen to the meetings with Ukraine, since Zelensky was not present at that meeting. Well, Europe must have got very antsy, because they put together a video conference call one day before that meeting in Alaska. They were on the phones with Trump and his people before that meeting. The Monday after that meeting, they all came to the White House. They had a meeting there. And since then, you've kind of seen it kind of disappear. During that whole process, Russia is continue to bombard Ukraine. So I think Putin I think Russia's winning this war. I don't think that your journalist or your media is telling you the truth. I think that Russia knows that they can win, and I think Europe knows that they can win also. And that's why this European coalition was over there. Here's what is unique from my standpoint. I had a vision on June the 24th, 2023, and I know in the end that Russia will be on the same side as all of the people they are fighting right now at the current time. You see the Leopards of Germany, their tanks over in Ukraine. You're seeing a European Union try to put together forces and some security. That's a strange word, by the way, security. For once this war is over, there won't be any aggression from Russia in the future. Now, all of those things sound real good, and all of those pictures that they take and all the meetings that they have seems to be a move in the right direction. But remember, when they're telling you one thing, you can almost always go the other way. So it's strange to me that you had the European Union over at the White House, along with the UK and France and Germany. They were there to tell President Trump that he needs to support the Europeans and Ukraine in this war. And what the United States doesn't need to do, and what I said before the meetings President Trump would not do, is he's not going to put any ground troops over there. What he knows is we've got some real problems in the United States. He realizes, and they're not telling you near what they know. This civil unrest, the threats of the terror attacks and the cyber attacks, an orchestrated event by socialists, communists to have America fight from within. I've told people several times, if you don't love America, you better get out, because we plan to be very patriotic during this time. We plan to stand with our government in America. We're not going to tear it apart. We're not going to be a house divided or a country divided for very long. But we're going to go through a lot of tough times in order to get back to some normalcy. And our National Guard, as I've told you many times, will play the most important role throughout the country. As now, I think today, President Trump has said that he will be moving the National Guard into Chicago next. I think you'll find that before this is over, might be 6 months, might be 3 months, might be a year, they will be everywhere from the northern border, the southern border, most of your big cities They're going to have to because of what's going to happen in the United States. 20,000 kids taken from Ukraine. There's still 2,000 kids globally in this world today, a network of very powerful people that are taking our children, and it's very, very tough. But that's just, those children are nothing more than bargaining chips. That's what they are. And I'm sure that they've been abused. I'm sure that they're anywhere from starving. The trauma, if they live, will be tremendous for them for the rest of their lives. And most people, they're just not going to put up, or they used to not put up. I guess they just don't worry about it unless it's their children or affects someone that they know. But boy, there was a time where you just didn't mess with the children of our country. Now they seem to be all doing all kinds of crazy rituals and satanic and demonic rituals with children. Almost reminds you of the Incas and the Mayans and the Mayans back in, or the Aztecs back in the day. You know, that was a tremendous, very, very intelligent, knowledgeable civilization, and they sacrificed their babies and they sacrificed their elderly to their gods. And when the Spaniards came over there and eliminated them, nobody ever felt sorry for them, and most people didn't even know how powerful a civilization they were because the winners get to write the history book. So what they've found since then is a very unique and wonderful civilization. But I guess the best way to tell you what it will look like when it's over, I will do that. How and when it will end, I'll give you my best guess. And remember, I've had a vision, so I've seen a lot of things, but I did not see the Ukraine-Russia war anywhere in it. I have tied it to Scripture with what's going to happen in World War III and in the Battle of Armageddon. Those are things that I have seen, and I can tell you that I know that Russia is the bear, and they're going to stand with the European Union. They're going to stand with the leopard, which is Germany. They're going to stand with the lion, which is the UK, and France will be in that European Union. So I'll give you what I would tell you in Daniel 7. If you'd like to go to Daniel 7, you will see that there were 4 separate beasts. And in Daniel 7:4, you'll see where the eagle's wings are plucked from the lion. That's the United States that were plucked from the lions. And so when that one beast in Revelations, that you won't see the wings of an eagle on that one beast like you saw the 4 separate beasts in Daniel when those eagle's wings were plucked. What you will find in Revelations is that the great wings of an eagle take the lady with the 12 stars out in the wilderness for times and a half, 42 months, 1,260 days for what is the tribulation and Satan's wrath. So we will stand with Israel during that time. But the 20,000 kids, they'll use them as bargaining chips when that war's over, or in order to get them back and maybe keep some land. I don't see Putin willing to give any of the land back. You remember what they signed, the treaties they signed in World War II. They said that they would not go one step toward Russia. And what Europe has done since then is they've started moving and taking land over a period of years from Russia. And now Russia is taking it back, and I think they'd like to just take all the USSR back again. But I don't think that's going to happen. But how will this war end, and what will be the landscape of Eastern Europe? I will tell you that I think it ends at World War III. At the end of World War III is what I think that war will end. And if it ends before then, remember World War III will start out of the Iraq, Iran, Syria, Turkey region. It won't be the UK and or the Russian-Ukraine war. But if Russia keeps taking and keeps winning, the European Union is going to get involved. And those are I've got a list that I pulled up of those countries, and there's a whole lot of them that I can tell you. Hungary, Ireland, Italy, Latvia, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Malta, the Netherlands, Poland, Portugal, Romania, Slovakia, Slovenia, Austria, Belgium, Bulgaria, Croatia, Cyprus, Czechia, Denmark, Estonia, Finland, France, Germany, Greece. All of those are part of the European Union. You'll find that the European Union, they were formed basically to be like the United States. You don't have to have a passport to go from one country to the other. They all trade in these euro dollars. They're called euros, and they were expecting the euros to be compete with the U.S. dollar, which is on the Forex market. That's the foreign exchange market. Almost all of the world currencies are traded in U.S. dollars. And there is a organization that has Brazil and Russia and India, China, Saudi Arabia. It's called BRICS. And that organization is trying to get so powerful and so strong underneath the surface to where they also will have a foreign exchange currency that they hope will devalue that dollar. Remember, the U.S. dollar is no longer backed by gold, hasn't been for quite some time. It was backed by the petrodollar, and which was the amount of oil that we bought from Saudi Arabia and other countries. That's the only reason that you still have oil in your cars today is because our U.S. dollar is backed by the petrodollars. Well, now what you're finding is that all of these competing currencies are trying to devalue the dollar. So from an economic standpoint, that is a warning sign that people that certainly goes under the radar. Bottom line is, when will it end? It will end when Putin wants it to, or when he decides that he's had enough. They're paying right now $50,000 for Russian soldiers to sign up. They're paying death benefits of $200,000. So there's the enticement for Russia to keep pounding and pounding and pounding. Remember, they're trying to not only they're trying to occupy the country. They're not trying to rid people of terrorists. There's two different wars, two different types of wars. But these days they're fighting a lot of wars with drones, and those drones are killing a lot of humans. Been such a loss of life over there that we're kind of detached from. But the 20,000 kids that Russia has of Ukraine, heartbreaking, and I think they'll use them as bargaining chips in order to get this war ended and maybe get some advantages if they can give those kids back, if they haven't sold them on the open that black market that tends to amaze me of how folks are doing with it. It shocks me. But over in Revelations 13, well, I will show you how Russia will end up being on the same side as the people that are actually against them now. And the same exact people that were standing in that White House with President Trump, all of them and Russia will be against the United States before it's over with. So that's the insight that I have, that anybody else that was out there would tell you that I have lost my mind. So that again is, I don't need their validation. So here we go, 13:1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon the heads of the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were the feet of a bear. Now the leopard is Germany, because there are the leopard tanks. The best tanks in the world are the leopard tanks of Germany. Now, you see that that beast has the head of the leopard. Well, that is the fourth right. The third head had a fatal wound. And when they took that Berlin Wall down, that fatal wound was healed, and they went into the fourth head, or the fourth right. So you're looking at the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear. There's Russia and Germany on the same side. And his mouth as the mouth of a lion. That's England, or the UK. And the dragon gave him his power. Now that's not China, that is Satan. Okay, when Michael, my archangel, defeats Satan, he comes to earth for a very short time to wage war against the saints, the elect, the church. So that is what he is going to do for 3.5 years. He's going to persecute, he's going to kill. If you don't take that mark in your hand or on your forehead, you won't be able to eat, you won't be able to buy anything, you won't be able to have any access to any funds. So a lot of people throughout the world will take that mark, and not only will they take it, some people are already taking it. I've got a video that shows folks over in Finland right now. They don't have keys to drive. They just show that chip. It opens the door. They want to buy something, they pop that chip. The vending machine opens. They want to go through a locked door, pop that chip. They open the door and go into their office. Everything they have is based on that chip. It's already here. Just like I've told you now I told people for 3 years that China's making these dials, and they've had these dials, and these dials are out walking around, and people don't know it because they're still showing you the second and third generation of these humanoids when they're 6 and 7 generations ahead of you. And once they start rolling them out, you're going to be very amazed at what's going on. But the dragon gave him his power and his seat and a great authority. And I saw one of his heads as it was wounded to death, and the deadly wound was healed. That's the Berlin Wall. And all the world wondered after the beast, as they worshiped the dragon, which gave power upon the beast. And they worshiped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies. And power was given unto him to continue for 42 months. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle, and them that dwell in heaven. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints, and to overcome them. And power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations, and all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. So there's a depiction in Revelations 13 that shows you that in the end, that Russia, Germany, the European Union will all be on one side. So when will the war end? I do not know. My best guess is I believe it at the end of World War III. That's when I believe it will end. Remember, World War III kills a third of mankind. It's when those 4 angels are loosed from the Euphrates River. That's the Iraq, Iran, Syria, Turkey region. And when they come down, World War III will start. Some people think that they've already been loosed because of this 12-day war with Iran and Israel. So I'm not so sure about that. We'll have to wait and see. But I know it's coming. I don't know the timing of it. But I do know how it'll end up. And I've just given you that. As far as my best guess, when Putin gets what he wants and the chips that he wants, or when they kill Putin or he dies, I think that one of the many ways that they end this war or all get on the same side is that Russia ends up with a new leader. And if that happens, that's a transition that could be made. But as long as Putin's alive, You know, a lot of people now say Putin's the Antichrist. I tell you, I just never played in this sandbox, but um, I don't see any way that Putin is the Antichrist. But again, when will it end? I think it ends at the end of World War III. Is what I would tell you, and I think you're going to find that more wars, as the basic instructions before leaving Earth states. You're going to have wars and everywhere, earthquakes everywhere, natural disasters everywhere. It's happening almost daily, almost daily. That there's a 6.3 earthquake here and a tsunami here and forest fires in Canada. We got real problems with Mexico and Canada that people don't realize. The reason President Trump he's anointed for this, we've got to secure our borders. It's one thing to have the Pacific Ocean and the Atlantic Ocean protecting us. That gives us some time. When you got people right on our borders to the south and the north, I think that is the biggest concern that nobody thinks about, because they're all supposed to be friendly and our allies, and I don't think they're our allies. But again, I don't think they want you to know that. So I hope I answered your question, Selma. As far as the war is horrific, there's no question about it, and lots of people are dying. And I hate it for the 20,000 children, and that is an accurate total if it's not more than that. People dying every day, but I don't know when it'll end. I know how it'll end up. I know how the landscape will end up in Europe, and that's basically because it's biblical. So thank you, Selma from New Jersey, for asking that question. Next question, Phee. What rookie will have the biggest impact in the NFL this year? Chuck from Oklahoma. Well, Chuck, I enjoy the NFL draft. I've never missed an NFL draft. It's just it's one of the biggest hobbies that I always had when I was younger. I love talent evaluating. I think I am a tremendous talent evaluator. I tried to buy an NFL football team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I went to the wrong Walton to try to get that done. Now all that Walton's all on the L.A. Chargers and the Kansas City Royals and the Denver Broncos, and I was just a little ahead of my time. I guess this was probably 2000 and maybe 2005, 2004, somewhere around there. But I didn't get that done. But I always wanted to do like Al Davis did and be the general manager of a football team that had several investors and I would run the team. So I love it. It's a hobby of mine. As far as I love Travis Hunter as a two-way player. He reminds me of some of Deion Sanders. He's not that good of an athlete, but he is a phenomenal athlete. I think your Abdul Carter boy from Penn State is going to be a difference maker right off the bat. You have the Cam Ward boy that went number 1 to the Titans. Normally, it will surprise me if he has a banner year. Not to mean he's not going to be a good quality football player. It's just difficult most of the time for NFL rookie quarterbacks to come in and have a great year. You saw C.J. Stroud did it with the Houston Texans. You saw Jaden Daniels do it with the Washington Commanders. Caleb Williams didn't have a bad year. Bo Nix had the most surprising year of the rookie quarterbacks. But the Alvin Gentry boy will have an opportunity for the Raiders. I like the Javon Walker boy out of Georgia. If he can get his head right and stay healthy, he's a dominant defensive tackle. If I had to pick a top 5, I think I listed my top 5, and then my long shot, which I will tell you it's a winner. But I have Abdul Carter and Travis Hunter 1, 2, Alvin Gentry 3, Cam Ward 4, and then I like as my sleeper R.J. Harvey, and he will be a starting running back for the Denver Broncos this year. There's my sleeper, and he might end up being the rookie of the year. So no one else would have him in there. But Fee's a little different here and there. He tends to sneak up on them. I can remember when Randy Moss came out, and I took him in the first round, and people laughed, and I went 15-1, and he was the rookie of the year, and of course set all kinds of records, probably in the top 3 wide receivers of all time in the NFL. So if I had to tell you the rookie impacts, they'd be defensive players, and nobody likes to hear that. They want to hear the running back or the quarterback. But Abdul Carter and Travis Hunter will be probably the top 2 NFL impact rookies of the year. But don't sleep on R.J. Harvey, because I think he's going to be a superstar. He's just like what they call a hidden gem. All right, next question here. Phee, why do you defend the Jews when they are committing genocide in Gaza? Diane in Louisiana. In my vision on June the 24th, 2023, I saw what happened on October the 7th. I saw people coming across that border. I saw them opening women's stomachs. I saw them taking babies out. I saw them cutting their heads off. I saw them killing the women. I saw them taking children and putting 3 and 4 and 5-year-olds, tying them in tires and setting them on fire. And I was very, very unhappy in that situation. I can remember saying out loud, "Who are these people, Lord?" And when it happened, then I had to take that what I was doing in private. I had to take that to a different level. So I have a real disdainment for why the war started. Now, that being said, the Jewish people and the Jewish government have continued to be, since the beginning of time, they've been an abomination to my Lord. And he's punished them. He's taken them out of his land. He's scattered them all over the world. Some of the writings and teachings that in the Talmud that they have is it's just demonic. It's satanic. What they actually said that was legal to do for these priests and Sadducees and Pharisees and kids and babies at 3 and 3.5, and how they could rape them without it being a sin, and how they could kill people without they could tie them up and leave them and they'd starve to death, and that wouldn't be a sin because they didn't actually murder them. If you read that book, you better get real prepared for something that you're not aware of. And so you have to stand with Israel, for the people of Israel, for the Jews, because it's biblical. Do I agree with everything that the Jewish government does? Certainly not. They've got the best intelligence in the world. They're very intelligent people. I'm certainly not saying that they're a blanket statement about some of their people. It's be like saying the Ku Klux Klan was a representation of America. That's a certain small group of people that would be there. And so I don't want to have a blanket statement over the Jews, but I know that Bible pretty well, and I can tell you that all throughout the Bible that my Lord punishes the Jews, and when they came back in 1948 and made that country again, and that fulfilled a prophecy. And my Lord's going to fulfill every one of these prophecies, including building that third temple. They've already done the red heifer ceremony, and we're going to, the Phee Smee Network is going to stand with Israel to the end, with just like the United States. I'm going to stand with the United States. I'm going to stand with Israel. Do I like everything that's going on? No. Do I agree with it? I certainly do not. But you have to remember what started the war, you even have people that had Israel, took them 9 hours to respond, and that wasn't normal, and they had closed a a base that those people use to go through the fences over there and to get into that area to kill those people. And so some people, conspiracy theorists, say that Israel set that up and had that done in the back just to be able to usher in their Messiah and to start these wars. And I'm not like I say, I'm new to this. I don't play in those sandboxes. Before I had that vision, I was really just so, I guess, so arrogant and so selfish that I really didn't care about what had happened or what would happen to across the world, somewhere that didn't affect me. So that's why I understand and have compassion for people now that they're not paying attention to what's going on, because if I wouldn't have been terminally ill in 2022 and wouldn't have had this vision in 2023, I just believe what the news was telling me. I would just, I just thought, journalist integrity, and you just don't get that. Everything it's a production, and they're all selling their advertisements. And if you look and see who owns it, all of the tops of almost every industry, then it points back to a group of individuals that have been in power behind the scenes for a long time. So not all people that represent themselves as Jews are real true Jews. Jesus talks about the synagogue of Satan. They rejected my Jesus. They call my God a demon. They say that they killed my Lord and Jesus Christ, and they stoned him and they beat him and they stabbed him and they hung him on a cross and crucified him. And it's difficult to have any compassion for them, but I do think that that's part of your heart's growing cold and hardening. I think that you can be you can get real negative real quick, and you're going to find the whole world's going to turn against the Jews, and except the United States and Jordan. And remember, Jordan's against them now. The only reason the prophecies talks about 3 regions in Jordan and the 3 tribes, and those 3 tribes will, in the end, be on the same side as Israel, or you would think Jordan would be over there just like the Palestinians, just like Saudi Arabia and most of your other Arabic countries. So remember, the Greek, that language, and Arabic, those are the 2 languages that Jesus would have spoke, along with Hebrew. And so those are what you have to go back to when you're trying to go back to the foundation or the root of words. Latin is over there too, and I was the Latin Club president, so they wanted me to run. I asked them if I could wear a toga and have women carry me and feed me grapes, and they said yes. So I was the Latin Club president for my senior year in high school, and I learned a few Latin words. It didn't take me long. I got aqua down pretty quick and a Greek kalai, so I know what water and farmer is. But since then, since 2023, I'm getting more versed in Arabic and Hebrew and the Greek and Latin. So I'm trying to do this best I can. It's a very difficult, certainly not going to be able to speak it and not going to be able to read it to where it's anything that's good, but it's very good to know the origins of words and what they meant, and how through the years how they've been watered down or diluted, how they've been perceived differently and jaded. So that's what you have to do when you start looking about 2025 years of that's passed since my Lord walked the earth. So it's a terrible situation in Gaza. Gaza is not going to be the Palestinian state. That'll be the West Bank, and it'll also have to have Jewish settlers in the West Bank. And the Jewish government, Israeli now, they're trying to annex that to where they have 3 different regions, and they'll put road infrastructures through it to where what they're saying is, while the rest of the world talks about creating a 2-state solution, Israel is moving ahead to develop the West Bank. So we'll see how that goes. All of the European Union has come out against it. You'll have a United Nations meeting in September, I think the third week of September, and that will be a very important meeting, and it'll be a real pivoting time, a boiling point, a tipping point for the rest of for the world. From that point on, I think at that point our world changes, if not that day, over a period of time before they sign that agreement. They're going to propose it. I'm sure they'll vote on it. I'm sure it will pass, and then we'll see what happens. Because I don't think they're going to sign it before World War III is over with, and I don't think World War III will take long. They're going to kill a third of mankind. I think it's not going to be an 8 or 9 year war. It would surprise me if it's a year, 6 months. There is pestilence involved. There is airborne viruses, biological weapons, nuclear weapons. You know, anytime you're going to kill a third of mankind, that's right at 2.6 billion people. You don't kill 2.6 billion people without using some real different weaponry, and we'll have to see what happens there. But it is a tragedy what's going on in Gaza. It's sad for those children. It's turning the world against Israel, and but who started it? Remember, Barack Obama gave $100 billion to Iran. They funded all of their proxies. Just think the United States has an army and a navy and an air force and the Marines. Well, Iran has Hezbollah, Hamas, and the Houthis, and one other one. And now you're coming back and you're finding that the same people the Taliban that we fought 20 years ago, now they've reinvented themselves, and they just don't know what's going on in Africa. For the last 30 years in Africa, they've been training militants and terrorists, and nobody knows about it or cares about it because those folks, there's areas over there, they're just starving to death. So you give them a little money and give them some food and some fresh water in a lot of those areas, and you can do about whatever you want to train, have those grounds. But the United States has funded Iran through Barack Obama, and he will go down as the worst president in the history of the world, and I think he'll end up going to jail. And I think that's if there's any justice in the world, what he's done and what these globalists are doing, you just wouldn't believe it. If I told you, you will think before it's over that I am amazing. But before that, you're going to think I'm an absolute nut conspiracy theorist. So I'm well aware that the next phase is the discrediting phase. I'm ready for that. I'm excited about that. I tend to play best when the game's on the line. I want the ball in crucial situations. I've always wanted to take the shot. I've had a lot of success being the guy who has the winning hit or makes the play, and so that's why I'm made for this, and I'm excited about it. But so much death, I call it painful joy. I'm having a really, really great time, but I know what's coming. So my heart goes out to those children again. It's all about the children to me. You want to find a weakness about Phee. It's the children, and they're going to continue to utilize and abuse and give children trauma when they are completely dependent upon other people, and they should have an innocent life. And my Lord speaks very strong in the Bible. You may as well take a millstone or put it around your neck and jump into the dadgum ocean or water than to hurt one of those young ones. The shedding of innocent blood is something that my Lord does not like. And in the end, he's not coming with a little lamb on him. He's coming to mop the floor with these folks. And I'm telling you, it's not. It's going to be an absolute wonderful, wonderful day when that happens. So I hope I've answered your question about why I defend the Jews. Um, I would like to tell you that I don't defend the Jews. I would like to tell you that I'm going to stand with Israel because I've, I know that we are the wings of an eagle that carries the woman at the 12 stars out in the wilderness for times and a half. Am I uncomfortable about it? I am. Do I have to pray about it a lot? I do. And I ask the Lord almost daily, and several times in the last 2 days, I've just prayed, Lord, please navigate me through this situation, because the more I find out about what's going on with the Jews and with Israel, and the harder it is for me to have a pure and loving heart. And I think that's what you're going to find. The hearts of men are going to harden around the world, and it's going to be very difficult. But we've got to do that, and that's what I continue to tell Mark is we're going to stand with Israel. We have to stand with Israel. The United States has to. I saw where President Trump would be elected. I saw that he would be known as the greatest president for unborn children and to protect Israel. And I saw it, and I even saw the point where it said the golden age of America, and I wrote that down right after my vision. So when he was elected and they announced that was their slogan, it didn't surprise me any more than when Wisconsin took him over the top, which if you'll go back and see my November the 5th election chaos, you'll find that I predicted that he would win and that Wisconsin would take him over the top on the Electoral College. I do appreciate that question. It's a tough question. I have to tell you that it's not pleasant for me to talk about. You asked the question why I defend the Jews when they are committing genocide in Gaza. I saw October 7th, and I know what my Lord prophecies are about in Daniel and Revelations, and so that's what I'm going to do. And I don't agree with what's going on over there, and I don't agree with their leadership. I certainly don't agree with their history or their culture. And if anybody wants to go back and look at some Israeli encyclopedias or the Talmud, get ready to bring you some tissue boxes because that is some very, very rough stuff that people could actually write that down and believe it. It's tough. But thank you, Diane in Louisiana, and I hope I answered that question. Next question, Phee. Why are men so insecure about women having male friends? Callie in Missouri. Phee. Why are men so insecure about women having male friends? Callie from Missouri. Well, Callie, I guess the simple answer for me is that men know men. You can certainly be friends with women and females. I've been friends with them. I've worked with them as co-workers. I've had several female friends that were married to friends of mine. I would always thought that they were friends. In churches, I've been around that. But as far as hanging out with, girls, would I rather go and hang out and play golf with a bunch of dudes, or would I rather go shopping with 3 girlfriends? That's a unique individual for a boy to do that. You asked the question from a woman's standpoint, so obviously you've got a man or a boyfriend or a husband that doesn't understand why you have so many male friends. So, I looked up, I did a deep dive in AI porn and the dark web and all this labeling and categorizing. So I went and I looked up what are the traits of women that have lots of male friends. And I'll read that to you in a minute, but I don't even agree with some of that. I think they write that from such a different psychology standpoint than I would believe, that I would just almost be completely against it. I think that a lot of times weak men try to go in the side door or the back door with women. They act like they're their friends. Then if they go out and all of them are having a good time or partying, they get a little tipsy or drunk, then they try to make their move. Or if they're there when the girl breaks up with the hey Jerry, it's good to see you. I don't know how long you texted or chatted, but I do appreciate that, baby. I'm glad you're watching tonight, and always thankful. And I always tell Mark that you showed up, so he always looks too. And thank you. He had a great show today. But the guys who are always waiting, for her to break up and then him try to make his move, or wait until they get drunk and then they're watching a movie, or she's crying on his shoulder, and next thing you know they're kissing. That's just a real weak man to me. So you always got the friends with benefits situation, and dudes, especially masculine men, they just don't. You ask the question from why do men feel insecure or insecure? I don't even know if it's insecurity. I just think it's more of a why. I don't get it. But I'll read you the 8 traits of a woman that hangs out with lots of men, and see if you agree with that, and we'll go from there. But I hope I have anyway. Well, maybe I don't have it. I did have it for sure because I looked it up. Oh, I know where it is. Yeah, I got it. I got about 4 different places. One's an email, and then one's I got emails, and I've got one to me. I sent it to myself. There it is. All right. Here we go. Women who have a lot of platonic male friends usually display these 8 traits according to psychology. Number 1, they embrace change. When it comes to friendships, many women have a tendency to stick to their own gender. It's a comfort zone of sorts, but women with many platonic male friends are different. According to psychology, these women often display a willingness to embrace change. Well, that would be number 1. Number 2, understanding of self. Women who maintain numerous platonic friendships with men typically have a strong understanding of themselves. They know their core values and their boundaries, and they aren't afraid to communicate them. Number 3, they're goal-oriented. Here's some raw honesty for you. Women who have a lot of male friends are often highly goal-oriented. Psychology tells us that they tend to set meaningful life goals and have a clear vision for what they want to achieve. Number 4, she steers her own life. Women who engage in numerous platonic male friendships often embody the spirit of steering their own lives. They don't let social norms or expectations dictate their relationships or life choices. Number 5, journaling for clarity. Many women with numerous platonic male friendships find journaling as a powerful tool. It's not just about recording experiences, but also about reflecting and gaining insights into their friendships and life. Number 6, successful habit change. Another trait commonly seen in women with numerous platonic male friendships is the ability to successfully change their habits. These women understand that habits play a pivotal role in shaping their lives. Number 7, purpose-driven women. Here's a bit of raw honesty for you. Women with many male friends usually have a strong sense of purpose. They aren't just drifting through life. They're living with intention, guided by a clear sense of what gives their life meaning. Number 8, authentic living. This may sound counterintuitive, but women with many platonic male friends often embody the essence of authentic living. Despite social expectations, they don't tailor their actions or relationships to fit predefined molds. So, if you, Callie from Missouri, fall into that category and have those traits, and you have several male platonic friends, then the reason for your question is, why are men so insecure? It's just not normal to a masculine alpha male. So I don't think you'll find a secure man has a problem with you working with or spending time with in a group setting with men. But if you're wanting to go out with your boyfriend on Friday and hang out with your male friend on Saturday, you and I would not date long because that would not be a young lady or a trait that Phee would be interested in pursuing. So I don't know if insecure is the right word for that, but if you believe it's that men are insecure because they don't want women to have male friends, I certainly understand that too. I just think most men, they know what's going on in their minds. They know that they are attracted by sight, and women are basically attracted by a narrative. So what they hear, how he acts, those are the type of traits that women look for from a primal trigger psychological standpoint. You've got several different traits of men, but a man that would say, honey, you go ahead and have fun with your male friends, and I'll talk to you next week, I would question his commitment to you. I would question whether or not he really cared that much for you. I might even tell you to the point that if you got a guy that actually cares enough about you that he stands up and he, from a leadership standpoint, and sets boundaries with you, then you're going to have to make a choice. So I get that we've been friends for 20 years since junior high, and you just don't understand. He's just my best friend. Okay, but let's not have 8 of them. And then when you start spending time alone with him, these women these days, even when they have sex with people, or a portion of sex, different types of sex, but not all kinds of sex, and then they have the friends with benefits, and then they don't tend to count the ones that are, the one-time deal, or well, I was drunk, or that didn't matter because I wasn't thinking straight. And, all those things to a man, that's just excuses. I don't think I would be in a small group of men to tell you that it's not uncommon for men to look down upon women that have a bunch of male friends. And so if I am wrong and you think I'm insecure, I certainly appreciate that, and I can tell you that I would respect that opinion to a point, but overall, I don't think that argument holds water. Best of luck to you with your relationships with men. If you want to continue to have a lot of platonic relationships with men, and maybe you're just as pure and all your male friends they have great intentions and everything's just on a friendship basis 100% of the time. And if that's the case, then Fee's been wrong before, and I'm sure I'll be wrong again. So thank you, Callie from Missouri, for your question, and I do appreciate you watching the Phee Smee Network, and especially Night Night with Phee. Tonight, we started the introduction and the title of this episode of warning signs, and they're everywhere. As the end of times draw near, I would pay attention to the world. I would pay attention to the warning signs that you see everywhere around you, and the deception, the symbols that are all the way around you, and they're just right in front of your face. And it's misinformation. It's AI. It's demons, demonic and satanic. And you ought to live in a world with wireless communications now that a spirit world should not be foreign to you. And so they're everywhere. So you need to pay attention to those deep fakes. You need to pay attention to the deception. And I can tell you this, that the biggest warning sign that I would tell you that you could have is that if you have not accepted my Lord Jesus Christ as your personal Savior. That's what you need to do, because signs are everywhere that time is running out for you to make that decision. And tomorrow is not guaranteed for you. So that's the first thing that I would do if I was you, with all of these warning signs around you. In relationships, I would tell you that Callie from Missouri, the man she's talking about, he's certainly got some warning signs. And in all relationships, there are definitely warning signs before you proceed with caution. And that's what those signs are designed for. And they're everywhere. And you need to pay attention to them, because the AI, the misinformation, and the prophecy that's coming true every single day is something that every day it's moving us closer to this world changing. And when it changes, you're going to wonder how in the world you got there without knowing it. So stay tuned to the Phee Smee Network. You won't be deceived, because we're going to continue to tell you things right before they happen, just like I've been doing now for right at 2 years. Well, 2 years and 4 months. And certainly on the air since May the 27th of this year. So time keeps on ticking into the future. Pay attention to those warning signs, folks, and stay tuned to the Phee Smee Network. And remember, no matter what you're doing, you're missing something. So let's make what we're missing, let's make what we're doing worth what we're missing. Night, night.